topic comes from an audience member who was asking about how his retired pay works in his particular circumstance. Now, I got actually thrown for a loop on this one. So that intrigued me a little because, yes, I got a little bit of an ego in this particular circumstance. I thought I knew quite a bit, and turned out that in this particular case, I needed to do some research. So here's the particulars for this guy. He is a permanent disability medical retirement and has been since 2002. He turns 60 next year and is eligible for concurrent retired and disability pay, meaning that next year he will be eligible to get a portion of his military retirement and VA compensation at the same time. Now, his question was this: when he was medically retired, he was told, well, actually not right away, it was a few years later, but he was told that when he turned 60, he would have his military retirement recomputed based upon the military pay scale that was in effect at the time. In other words, when he turned 60. Now, let me back up and explain. So since 2002, he has been receiving the cost of living allowances, every year since then. But those COLAs are less than the cost of living allowances that apply to the military pay scale every year. So when you compare the increases of retired pay versus the increases of military pay over time, and what his retired pay could have been up to now, there is a couple of $100 difference up to now. I believe when I worked it out, it was about $200 or $300 difference by now. So, if a recomputation were to occur, it would have a difference in what his take home would be. So it's no laughing matter. It's no small thing if a recomputation were to occur. And so this is an important question for him. So I wanted to know this answer. This was not something I had heard of before. And so I went first to basically the law of retired pay, the Department of Defense Financial Management Regulation, and I started doing some keyword searches, and I found nothing at all. And so I was even more confused. And so I told this individual, this gentleman, that I would contact Defense Finance and Accounting Service the coming business day and ask them what exactly the truth was. This whole conversation was via email, not via phone, so it was taking a few minutes back and forth for us to communicate. But I told him I would contact DFAS and tell him what exactly the truth was, because I wanted to know what the truth was. And I even told him that once I found out, I wanted to tell everybody else, because this would be an important matter one way or the other. Whether it turned out that a recomputation happened or not, it did matter, because this applied to not just him, but to thousands of others as well. So that's exactly what I did. The coming business day, I got on the phone and sat there waiting, and waited, got disconnected, called again, waited. I actually got people on the phone and asked the question, got transferred several times, got disconnected several times after being transferred, got people intrigued by my question, people who hadn't heard that before. Finally, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I got one person who did give me an answer and told me where to look. Not a specific answer of where to look, but a vague answer of where to look on the DFAS website. So I went looking there, and that didn't really turn up anything. So I got a little flustered, but decided to go look again. By now it's around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Decided to go look again in the financial management regulation. Like I said, this is the law of the land. This is what governs the financial, the DFAS, the Defense Finance and Accounting Service. Everything they do is based on the financial management regulations. So if they do something, it's based on what's in here. And the last person with whom I spoke said that yes, there is a recomputation. Notice I said yes, there is a recomputation for people who are on the permanent disabled retired list and eligible for concurrent retired and disability pay who reach age 60. So that gave me an incentive to keep digging. So that's exactly what I did. Again, I'm doing keyword searches in the FMR, the Financial Management Regulation, but they're more, they're more fine-tuned. They're more calculated searches instead of just looking for 60 or age. I looked for recalculation or recompute. And eventually I found what I wanted, which was a rules table for recomputations. And so I extracted a portion of that recomputation rules table after reading through the table and making sure that it actually applied to the situation I wanted, and sent it to the retiree with whom I had been communicating. It turned out this actually did apply. And I'm going to read a portion of that table to you now so that you can see exactly what I mean. So here is the situation that applied with him. So this is Table 7-1 out of the Financial Management Regulation, dated December 2019. Computation of retired pay following active/reserve duty after retirement or eligibility for retired pay. All right, rule number 5. A member previously retired for disability, reverts to retired status without incurring any additional or aggravating disability that would qualify for disability retirement. All right. That's under column A, if a member previously retired, blah, blah, blah. All right. Then column C, he takes either the highest monthly pay he received on active duty or the retired pay base as appropriate under Rule 3 or 4. Or under Rule 3 or 4, which above, I could read those, which is basically, is he a final pay or a high 3 pay retiree, which I won't go into the specifics of those. All right. And then it goes into how to calculate pay based on those. And it also, under the if column, says see note number 6. Note number 6 says, alternatively, members eligible under Rules 3, 4, or 5 may elect to substitute the retired pay to which entitled when originally retired increased by any applicable adjustments in the COLA, which we won't go into all of that. But the short version is, if you were previously retired for disability and you revert to retired status for service, such as by age, and you don't have any additional aggravating disabilities that would increase your medical retirement, then you take your highest monthly pay based on either the final pay or the high 3 retirement rules already set in law. So that was the answer to his question. And I'll put these extracted pages in the show notes on my website for others to review. So if you're listening to this episode on radio or podcast or any of the mediums out there, not just on YouTube or whatever, then it's available out there to you. But this is very important information for anyone out there who has been medically retired and is also eligible for concurrent retired and disability pay. Know that when you reach age 60, your medical, or rather your service-related portion of retired pay will be recalculated based on your highest, or based on the military pay table in effect at the time you turn 60. So that is an excellent bit of news. That means your military pay will go up. So great news, everybody. All right, so I just wanted to record this episode so that everybody would be aware of this wonderful bit of news and be able to put it out there for you. So that is the gist of what I had for you, and really all there is. So I'm going to call it quits for this episode and just give you my normal end of episode comments. I do appreciate everyone who has spent time with me for this episode, and I do ask that anyone who is willing to do so would go over to patreon.com/rcretirement and support my efforts at whatever amount you choose per month. Also, if you would like, you can go over to Amazon, and when you buy your Amazon products, you can also support me in that manner. You don't have to use the affiliate links on the episode. You can also just click on the link on the right side of the website and shop that way. Lastly, if you need any assistance with any personal issues, you can just go to the Fees for Service tab and get a preview of what it would cost for me to assist you personally with any problems you may have yourself. And then you can contact me at dj@rcretirement.com, and we can work out an agreement for personal assistance. All right, so that is all I have for this episode. I look forward to talking with you one more time in upcoming episodes. And as always, I thank you for spending your time with me, and thank you for your service. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
If you liked what you heard on today's episode, then please go below and give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, please let other people know about this channel and the information it can provide for them. If you have questions or comments, then please have no qualms about posting them in the comments section below. Please remember the RC Retirement YouTube channel and the RC Retirement website are not recognized or endorsed by the Department of Defense, the Department of Veterans Affairs, or any other government agency. The information presented in these resources are for entertainment and informational purposes only. Also, the content of either of these resources should not be considered financial or legal advice. Please consult with your own legal counsel, accountant, or financial planner before making any decisions based on what you have learned here. As always, thank you for watching the RC Retirement YouTube channel.